Yo, have you ever seen the movie Harry Potter?
Which one?
Yo,
I've seen The Chamber of Secrets, and I'm not too big of a Harry Potter fan, no.
oh,
I've seen like a couple of them.
I'm only just wondering because this hourglass is actually from the movie.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it's in the sixth one, the Half Blood Prince, and it's actually in one of the professor's rooms.
What is it like? What does it do?
So
the movie?
in the movie, it is a direct correlation to the conversation that they are having. Because the sand moves upon the engagement of the conversation. So
Gotcha.
I brought it today because it's super relative to what we are doing and who you are.
Gotcha.
I don't know if you know, but time is a paradox.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they know. So being that time is a paradox, it's something that we cannot control as being like in humanity. So once the past is done, it cannot be reversed.
Mm-hmm.
The future hasn't arrived, so we will never reach the end.
Mm-hmm.
And that once the present becomes the past, even if we redefine it, we can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So that's why I brought it here. Deep Sky Paradox. Or wait. Yeah.
Deep Sky. That's crazy.
Dark Sky Paradox. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey man, it's DarkSkyParadox, also known as Docs. Here with KLEANBEAN today. About to conduct this interview. Thank you for having me, Mr. Bean.
No, I appreciate you. My bad for messing up your
No,
name,
you're
bro.
good, man. I thought it was funny.
You can't be too serious all the time.
Yeah.
But no, I just wanted to say I appreciate you for allowing me to be in your home. I've been doing a lot of the mobile podcasts lately.
Nice.
So this is something that I'm super appreciative about because I'm in your house. This is where you sleep.
Oh.
So
This is a perfect room. This is what I wanted to create too. It's like a safe place. Oh, everywhere I work, I just want I like it to be like just a comfortable environment, just to create and feel free.
Right.
And non-restricted.
Yeah, this area is cool. I like it because of the background, like the trees. It's just it's got that cool aesthetic.
Yeah, the cool part. Me and my dad did most of it, but I helped him on some. My dad's a landscaper. So all these trees you see, he planted, and he built the fence, built patio. The pond. Basically, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he's been landscaping since forever.
So everything back here, he did it.
Yeah. I helped him with some of it. I'm not gonna take all the credit because he did most of the work, but yeah, he's pretty artistic when it comes to that. Just landscaping and home design, gardening, stuff like that.
Dang, that's actually really cool. So speaking of art, welcome everybody to the Bean Dip. This is where Bean will dip into the minds of those aspiring to be great. Today we are going to be talking about his art. Since we were speaking of art, we're gonna leave off with that. So go ahead and let's go ahead and tell everybody why you're on the pod, why I've selected you to be on the pod, which I appreciate, by the way.
Why he selected me? Actually, me and Bean known each other for a year or two now. And we just happened to run into each other. Bean was working on, he was shooting a quince for a friend of mine, and we just happened to run into each other. And when I first met him, I let him know, I was like, hey, I make music and producing stuff. I think when I first met you, I wasn't actually making my own songs, but I was still creating production and engineering.
Right. Yeah. You were playing the piano, which was.
Oh yeah,
dude,
I forgot. Yeah.
Oh
yeah, we actually were.
Yeah, we met at Chris's house. Mutual friend of ours.
I actually started. I picked up a guitar at 14 and the piano around the same time. So that's actually how my journey to music started. But as far as the podcast, like I said, just knew Bean for a while, and I knew, I've seen his videography work, and then he told me he was doing a podcast, and I was like, oh, wow, better jump on that. Bean's an intelligent person, so I know he would ask some actual substance obtaining questions, and it wouldn't just be a regular podcast. It would be something you can speak your mind on.
Right, yeah, because this is completely 1,000% about you. I'm going to make it about you or anybody else that wants to be on here. So being that I saw you playing piano, what is your main focus with your music? Is that something that you are trying to do for the rest of your life?
Yeah, so the funny thing is, when I started music, so let me take it back to how I started actually
Yeah, let's go where you
taking
started.
my music like serious on a serious level. So like I said, I picked up the guitar at 14, and that was really to impress a girl. I wanted to win an X Pac, and I was just and I had friends that played it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna learn this song and buy this guitar, learn the song. Learned the song. She ended up hating it. Um, but
Yo.
let's fast forward it. Let's fast forward to I want to say senior year of high school, beginning of college. Um, everybody's when the beginning of college, everybody everybody goes their separate ways.
Right.
Everybody picks the school that they want to go to. Everybody, ends up in a different area,
Or doesn't do
and
anything at
yeah, or
all.
doesn't do anything at all, or decides they want to become a rapper. But with me was I had an old friend. He invited me to his dorm, and he originally saw me playing because I would just post like pieces of me playing music on Instagram
Right.
on my stories.
Right.
And he ended up swiping up. He's like, "Yo, bro, like you're hard. Come to my dorm. Like I have a whole setup. Blah blah blah." I didn't really know anything about production or just the engineering side of anything.
Right.
So I showed up, and he had the basics. He had a MIDI keyboard. He had a mic. He had a little booth in his closet.
Oh, so your first experience was actually impressionable.
Yeah. So yeah, he just invited me in. He wasn't too serious at the time. Like I said, he was a college kid, like just like me, just getting first year in his dorm.
Right.
But he had his own little setup, and he was making music, and that's kind of what jump started everything for me. Because this was I was 18, 19.
Oh, okay.
This is what really kicked forward, because before that I had no prior knowledge to how music was made, like from the recording process to it being distributed.
Oh, you didn't really know.
I had no idea. All I knew was how to play keys, certain chords on the piano, certain songs. I never really dove in further beyond that. I never dove in like creating my own music. It was more so of just learning stuff other people created.
So this is when you first learned how music was created, and so after that, what were the steps you took to start creating your own? What was it that inspired it?
He really like opened the door and like I guess took the blindfold off me to see that route and to see that industry and to see he gave me tips on what to buy, what I needed. So my first he also had a DJ setup too. So my initial I'm trying to remember what I first bought. Because once I saw that door, I think the first thing I bought was a mixer, a DJ mixer. I started that route, honestly, because I wasn't too confident in myself making music yet. So I felt the route to start was DJing.
Okay.
And then that led to me just being called to like college parties, like little college parties. And it kind of built up to me going into the club. And I've always loved like being in control of the energy, and just I've always just ever since I was young we've always had like party vibes. Like I always threw parties here.
Right.
God bless my mom, because I've heard her so many times with the crazy parties I've had.
Moms are great though.
Yeah. But yeah, I've always been like I've always had like that kind of I don't want to call it chaotic energy, but just that like litness to me. I've always liked to just have a good vibe and like
be like
myself.
exuberant. Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I was clinging on to while I was DJing in the beginning. I was just like, man, I love this. Like, I love like being the energy of the party. I love like just having this like kind of like a conductor control over the vibe that's going on. And then I kind of got burnt out working at the club just because you're around a lot of like heavy energy. And you just see a lot of things at the club, man. You see a lot of things in the city nightlife. And something in my soul just kind of got tired of it. I was like, man, there's got to be more for me. Like, I can't just come here every night. Because on top of that, too, like, the people I was hanging out with, the club promoters and all stuff, were kind of, like, on the same thing. Just caught in the party life, not really thinking beyond that.
Right. Yeah, because the party life can serve as a distraction.
But first of all, the things of this world aren't meant to satisfy your soul. So just, like, the party life it's going to irritate your soul pretty quickly.
Yes, because it does get old.
Party life is the same thing over and over. People get messed up. They come out, dance just to relieve their 9 to 5, just to escape their reality, essentially.
Right.
But once I got out of that, once I was like, okay, I don't want to do this no more, I stepped into engineering. Like I said, this whole journey was a process of me becoming confident in myself and like as an artist, understanding that I can like accomplish everything. Because I went to DJ to engineering to producing, then to actually being like, okay, I could do this as an artist. But my engineering journey actually started. I don't want to say it started after because it kind of started congruently. Um, there was a girl I knew. We were really good friends. Her friend's boyfriend was actually an artist,
Right.
and he was already kind of established. His name's
Mhm.
Deep October. Shout out Deep October, by the way. It's my boy. It's my brother. Shout out Deep October. So I knew Deep. Like I said, I knew Deep before I started deciding, hey, I'm gonna do this music for real. But we were just never that close. And when I finally gathered enough, saved enough money, the funny part is too, I was in college. Like I said, I was in college during this
During all
DJ
this, yeah.
beginning. Yeah, and then my plan was to save my refund checks because I was getting good checks from FAFSA. My plan was to get a good GPA, keep my GPA high, and just stay in classes till I get my refund checks. And then when those refund checks hit, I just bought a bunch of studio equipment. Like that was the entry for me buying all my engineer equipment. Literally as soon as those checks hit, I dropped the classes that I was in. I took the checks and my mom would be like, "Why are you home from school so early?" I'd be like, "I just got out of class early. Mom, I took the test fast." But yeah,
that's cool. That's actually
yeah,
like
it was
super
really
inspiring.
really risky because my parents are old school, dude. They're like traditional Latinos. They came
Bro,
here
I
like
feel you
they came here on a
100%.
boat and shit.
Yeah.
Um, so all they want for their son is to enjoy what they didn't have. To have a
Right.
prosperous life because that's what the reason I came here is to set a foundation for me to like grow. So obviously when they're thinking, oh, he's gonna get a good degree, he's gonna get a good job, and then like all the things we worked hard off for is like gonna pay off for him. And then me, I'm thinking, yo, I'm miserable here. I don't like going to college. Like I don't see the point in this. I don't see a future in here.
Right.
So like my plan is, yo, I'm gonna save all this and I'm gonna start something for myself. I'm gonna do something. So when I bought all the equipment, I had ended up hitting up Deep October. Um, and it was funny because I played it off. I guess the way I came off to him, I came off as like I knew what I was doing, when in reality I had no idea. Like I never recorded anybody. So we had set up a date for him to come, and I had binge watched every YouTube tutorial, because I was using Logic Pro. I had
Oh,
binge watched everything how to record an artist. I was literally up like late at night, not sleeping, just literally watching YouTube, just like letting my brain just soak in all the information. And I remember that the day came to where he came over. Um, the day came to where he came over, and I really just winged it. Like I winged the fuck out of it. I like obviously I knew a little bit about it, but it was my first time ever doing it. Like
right.
I learned, I had binge watched everything, had the knowledge, but the first time actually doing it was crazy. And it was crazy because like in my head I'm like, oh man, he's gonna hate this. He's gonna know I'm a scrub. He's gonna know like I'm not. He's gonna know like this is my first time doing this. And it was funny because like I turn around as I'm mixing it and recording his song, and he's like dancing with his girl in the back, like they're just having like a good time, like just vibing, like they're just happy they made a song, and I'm there just happy, like he's enjoying it. I'm just like, oh man, this is like, um, but yeah, once I got through that hump, and it was also a good thing because he's a great artist.
Right.
So
I've never heard of him, so I'm gonna have to check him out.
yeah,
after
yeah,
this.
definitely. I'll show you it after this. But he's a great artist, so it also helped me improve a lot as an engineer because I had some substance to work with, and I had a foundation that could be turned into the great music we made today.
How long was the time period between like all of this? How long did it take you from going from DJing to your first experience recording for someone else?
So I want to say about 6 months.
That's it?
Yeah. Like I said, it was kind of congruent when I decided to be an engineer. Because it was already in my head. I just didn't have the money to get the equipment yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I was already planning. Yeah.
It always comes down to money.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to say it was quick, dude. Everything happened fast, and it also happened fast because I wanted it. Like I was literally binge watching everything. I was looking into what equipment I needed. I was, just looking at the greats. My life for a whole year consisted of me just watching Busyworks Beats. My producers out there who will know who that is. Busyworks Beats is like a really good famous guy for tutorials on FL Studio. But it was just binge watching tutorials and also binge watching actual artists in the studio and watching, like, studying their process and how, like, the culture around it goes.
Yeah, being studious really helps
Uh-huh.
like accumulate more, like, well, obviously knowledge, but with more like habits and more like shortcuts and kind of like it, because I didn't do like the YouTube University. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
I actually went to film school, so learning everything in film school about the industry and how to network and like
Yeah.
how everything works. Once you know like the theory behind it, it makes so much more sense and it allows you to be more fluent in your work flow.
A lot of people say too, like, don't go to engineering school, you can learn this. I think being educated is one of the most important.
It's the most slept on tool.
People say don't learn music theory, don't learn this. Like, dude, if you want to be the best, you have to have knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, if you want, like, because people like act like they don't need it. Like, if you want to be the best, like, open your mind.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
You have to soak in the energy. You have to be a sponge of knowledge and wisdom and apply it to your day-to-day life, even that, like, with anything. So when you started making your own beats, is that so everything that you do now with like your vocals as well as the engineering behind like the beats, you make everything? So you record, you mix, master, or like for the song That's Enough, because that's probably the song, that's what it's called, right?
That's Enough.
It was a really good song, and I actually listened to it on repeat for a while. It was one of my favorite out of all of them.
Nice, appreciate it. Actually, you know what's funny about that song? I don't like it, but everybody, all of my friends, my close friends, are like, dude, that song is good. Like, that song is a hit. And it's funny. It's just like the curse of being an artist. You're so self-criticize. You self-criticize too much.
Right. Perfectionist.
Yeah. But for that particular song, no, that was actually my boy Sonny beat. Shout out Sonny Vegas. He lived with me for a whole year here. We actually cooked up in this room a lot. Funny enough, Sonny and Deep were a major part of my lives. As far as musically, Deep October, just because
he was like kind of like
he was a start off, dude. Yeah, he was a start off. I learned a lot like from him. Just working with him helped me progress a lot. And then Sonny helped me with the business side of things, and he also helped me with the mixing and mastering of my beats. Sonny was doing this a long time before me. Sonny was doing this for, I want to say, like 4 or 5 years before me. And how did we meet? Sonny? I think I just ran into. I ran into him one day at a studio session. And funny enough, we started cooking up enough. He went to Canada for to work with someone, and then COVID hit.
Oh, COVID.
And then he couldn't. He was like, dude, I don't have no place to go back. And I was like, bro, just come stay with me. I was like, just come stay with me. Like,
that's when
we'll lock down during this quarantine. Just cook out. Yeah, go ahead.
The spontaneity of friendships happened when, like, during like the it's erratic.
Yeah, but back to your
the friendships like are the best.
Baby, yeah. Back to your saying about me and my process. I do rap on my own beats, but a lot of times with me, I need to be inspired. Like I like beats because as an artist, you find your sound and you realize like the general area where your sound,
where you need to be,
yeah,
where you need to be placed.
And I like to go to other producers because they have a certain sound I look for.
Because with the song That's Enough, what I really liked about it is the synths that correlated with the cadence of your voice towards like the end. Gotcha. It just like really matched, and I was like, yo, this song, like the engineering of this song is actually, I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I actually had a few songs in no particular order. That one obviously is my favorite out of all of them. It was What Love Is. I really like that song.
That's what Deep's in that song.
Oh, really?
That was one of my first songs.
I like that song. I like My. And there's another one. It's like an instrumental. It's called Scared.
Scared to Lose.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. I really enjoyed listening to those songs. I had them on repeat because I got to do my research on.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, so those are those are what I liked the most. There was a couple that I listened to that I didn't really like, because when you're listening to music, I don't listen to music to hear it. I listen to music to feel it. And that's something that most people don't really understand. The true meaning of art. The true meaning of art is not what you see or hear. It's what you feel. If someone can make you feel a certain way with what they've created, then you know if they've done right. So that's what I'm saying. Like that, I felt. I guess I resonated most with the songs that I named. I listened to, there was 9. I think I listened to 6 out of the 9.
Yep. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's my main goal too when making music. Just as an artist, I feel like in my songs, I intentionally also put, I want to say, broad verses in there, because I like to make ultimately my goal with my music is to like share an experience I've overcome to help other people overcome it, to let them know they're not alone.
I did see some of your lyrics, and they were a little bit like, I don't want to say on the darker side, because they weren't like crazy. They weren't like crazy, like I guess I don't even know like the right word for that, because I do get the vibe, or I don't like saying the word vibe, but I do get the energy of, this is a time where I was going through something, which music should, or art should be expressed with like the way you're feeling. That's when the passion comes in. That's, like I said, if someone else feels something and you make someone else feel it, that's when it's the best form of art. So I did see that I did feel that in these songs, and I actually obviously did read the lyrics, because music is more than just beats and snaps and booms and claps. So when you are composing a new song, are you someone who generally likes to write stuff down, or are you a freestyle?
It depends, but for the most part, I just freestyle.
Why? Why is that?
I find, so I have a lot of voice memos of just like lines, I'll say. I find that like sometimes when I'll be doing something random, I'll like utter like a line to myself, just like a slick bar, and I find I'll write that down and I'll put it in the song later.
Do you know what that's called?
No.
It's called serendipity.
Serendipity?
So when something comes about your mind and you think about it and you write it down, that's called serendipity. The act of serendipity,
Yeah, serendipity.
Which, I learned, serendipity, And that actually is a key, it's a key element when creating anything. Because even with me, it'll be like, oh, you should say this, and I write it down, because if you don't write it down, you'll forget it, and that's like that's the serendipitous part of it. Because if you don't write it down, you will forget it, and you won't ever be able to come back to it when you need it.
Yeah, that's why I have my voice memos always, because like just that moment in time, it's like an opportunity, bro. It's like a moment in time, the pocket of creativity will come, and you have to take advantage of that, or you have to find some way to like bring it tangible. If that makes sense. Yeah,
because bro, our mind, whenever you're doing a bunch of things, your mind is just constantly moving and moving and moving. You're going to overlook and forget things, which is normal for everybody. So once you write it down, it becomes reality and tangible, and you could attain that goal.
As far as another big thing when I structure my songs is I kind of go for the hook first, because the hook to me is like the theme, the message I'm trying to put out in the song. So I'll end up going to I'll look for a certain section in the beat where I feel like the hook should be, and I'll start there, and then I'll build, because a lot of the songs I made so far, the beginning actually came at the end of me making the song.
Oh, really?
So I do like to feel the beat out, and I'll put the hook, and once I know the hook's hitting, I feel like I could build the rest of the song after that. Just because, like I said, I feel like the hook to me is the theme, the message of the song, like the whole
well, that's what hooks people in.
Yeah,
that's the part that people remember the most, and the fastest. Is the hook, is like, because what is it? There's a chorus, there's a bridge. I don't know all the parts.
That's the funny thing too, because That's Enough specifically, I had started, and I was about to trash it, and then I was like, I had to like really get in my mind and be like, nah, bro, like you got this, like, because like I said, I'm my own biggest self-critic, so a lot of times I'll downplay a lot of the stuff I'm doing. I remember sitting there and literally about to trash it, and something in me was like, nah, bro, like you got to go 10 times harder. So I remember sitting there over and over again on the hook part, and then I finally
For
was.
which song?
That's enough.
Okay.
I finally had like I was just in there like on the mic saying a bunch of like gibberish, and then all of a sudden I was like, and I look at the sky to get me high, and I was like, oh, this is. I was like, yeah, and like I did that hook like 100 times over until I got it perfect, and then that's what it was today. I look at,
No, that's
I
cool
look
because
at
I
the
really enjoy that
sky.
song. I could talk about it all day.
Yeah,
I did notice that you only had a catalog of 9 songs.
yeah,
Um, are those same 9 songs across all platforms? Like
yeah.
on
They're gonna be across all platforms. SoundCloud, I have a couple more beats. I don't think I have more songs, but I do have a couple more of my beats that I just posted for everyone to enjoy.
So is this everything that you have in your catalog total, or are you working on expanding?
I actually have a lot in the vault. I have too much in the vault actually, but now it's the time of being ready to market myself.
What do you
Um,
do for promotion?
for promotion, I just make videos, man. I actually do all my own like stuff. I think for I actually made a little music video on my GoPro and a Sony camera I had, and I just went in CapCut and I just did a little bit of editing there. Um, Eventually, I do want to invest in an actual music video, but right now I feel like form content is just like king right now.
Short form content won't last.
Yeah, it won't.
People are gonna be like, "Oh yeah, it is, bro. Shut up." But I'm like I said, I went to film school. I'm a filmmaker. I'm a cinematographer. I actually am passionate about it. So long form, bro, you're not gonna watch a movie on your phone. Bro.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
So everything that has to do with like shooting anything, landscape will always prevail.
Yeah.
You know, so long form content is king for me. Although people are gonna be like, nah.
It's like everything, like MySpace, Facebook. It all dies down eventually.
Facebook hasn't died down though.
Yeah, I'm serious. Yeah, but compared to what it was back in like 2013.
Right. Well, because of how it started.
Yeah.
I mean, we could talk about Mark all day long, but like, he started with the foundation, and then he
Hey, shout out
didn't
Mark.
know. Yeah, he didn't know. I mean, well, I don't really fuck with Zuck the Cuck,
But
but so yeah, I mean, you know, there's a bunch of reasons why. So, but you know how he started. I mean, I don't take credit away from people.
yeah.
It started as a foundation, and then it blew up out of nowhere, just like how music does. Anything, you know,
Yeah.
really. With your what is your hope for your music? What are your goals? Like I guess like 5 years from now, where do you see yourself with the music and the elevating and stuff like that?
I don't know, dude. When I was young, my focus was on getting popping. Like I wanted to be here. I wanted to be the face. I wanted to be a star. Blah 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 blah. As I got older, that's just faded away. And what means more to me is just like being able to provide for myself and like the people around me. That means more to me than just being famous or being a star.
Everything switches.
Yeah.
Once you make the switch of like, oh, I want to be famous. I want to be this. I'm doing it for these reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And once, like, a lot of people don't really have the passion when it comes to creating art, and that's kind of why most people fail.
Yeah.
Because I used to be the same way. I was like, oh, like, I'm on IG, I'm on this, like, I want to be, like, I want to be the face, I want to be famous, I want to be this, I want to be that, I want the money. But it's like, when you wish for that, it doesn't come.
Yeah.
When because, like, I fell in love with filming and, like, filmmaking. So now it's like I do it for the passion. Like I would do it for free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like if you do something for free, that means
it's crazy because that's the big thing I learned too. Because at first, especially during COVID, dude, I was so down bad for money. I noticed like I was closing doors for myself because I would do things out of money. Like I was trying to survive, and when you're in a survival state instead of creative state, it just doesn't help anybody. Because I remember Now that I've grown and I see that, like, let's say for instance, let's say I make a beat and then, someone likes it. Instead of just being like, yo, you need to pay for this, pay for that. I'm like, you just here, have the beat, and then we'll talk about the business side later. And it just having that relationship with someone just means more than just charging them. If that makes sense.
No, it does because I'm in that same I'm in the same predicament.
Because like I said, during COVID, dude, I was bad down for money. I didn't have a job. Everything was getting shut down, so I would just stay cooking up, and I would try to just force sales, and that doesn't help anything.
So there's like a good and bad that came out of COVID.
Yeah.
Because COVID actually brought out a lot of people who wanted to do something, and then it also created a bunch of unemployed, lethargic pieces of shit. I mean, no, I don't want to like really say that because I don't like to talk like that. But bro, it's like it's pertaining to those because after COVID happened and like once, I mean, it's still like a thing, but once it happened, everybody was hiring, everybody was short staffed.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to work because of the stimulus checks, and then it's just like a lot of people blew those stimulus checks on partying and drugs and doing all this stuff, and it's just like now the unemployment rate.
No, I actually invested in stocks. Never mind.
So like the unemployment rate after COVID was astronomical. Everything was changed. For me, 2020 and COVID was probably the best year because I was actually doing I was filming like kind of like a documentary on this dude who was like a drug dealer. He's in prison now, but shouts out my boy. And so that was the most money I'd ever seen and touched.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like what opened my eyes into like, yo, I can like,
you can make a living off this.
I can make a living off of like the film and like,
Yeah.
It was crazy because everybody was locked down, but like then you saw the people who wanted to make the money, they went and got the money.
Yeah.
So COVID was actually one of my best times.
That was a turning point. COVID was actually a turning point for me to actually become an artist too, because like I said, I was trying to survive, and around COVID time actually is when I got invited to work. Shout out Wealthy Records, shout out Jab, shout out Ghost, shout out Serenity, shout out Nico. Those are all people that worked with me at Wealthy Records. Wealthy Records actually was a major blessing and a major door for me because Wealthy Records had just started up. They were off Tuckasegee Road. They were just, starting up. They had just got their own house, space. They were just starting to build, and they had invited me in to be a part-time engineer, or just to be my own engineer there. And that was a big blessing for me because not only were they getting me clients and putting me to work with people, that do music, but I was also able to, find my own route and get my own clientele and start doing for sessions. But the thing about that, I was doing sessions so hard, I kind of got burnt out, man. I was like, because you deal with, being an engineer, you deal with a lot of bullshit, man.
No, I feel that. I don't believe in burning out, but.
Yeah. I got burnt out in a sense of, I'm tired of recording other people. I need to do this for myself because I do it so well.
I can see that. I wouldn't really consider that a burnt out. It's more of like you're doing all the work and you're not getting enough credit because nobody knows what you look like, who you are. You kind of have to brand yourself in that aspect because it's like when you think of all the big producers in the world. So my favorite artist is Drake.
Yeah.
40, for example. I know what he looks like. I know a little bit about his background because of the way he's branded himself through OVO Records or whatever their label is called. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what, once you realize, okay, cool, like I am doing this for other people, now I need to do it for me. I wouldn't really necessarily call it a burnout. Yeah. It's more of like a realization. Yeah. Because you still do it. Burnt out is when you kind of like, no, I don't want to do this. You take a break, and that break is often detrimental to your prosperity. Yeah.
What would I call it? I would say not producing fruits. That's what I wanted to say. That's a good way to put it.
Not producing fruits.
There was not enough fruitfulness.
Yeah. Okay. So it's fruitless and futile.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a major opening for me.
So you built your own door and busted through. Yeah. That's the way I see it too. If
I want to say, yeah, it was an opportunity. It was a blessing, and I had to take advantage of it.
Right. Yeah, because when opportunities don't come knocking, you got to build your own house and go to the window. Like if the door ain't opening, go to the window. That's the only way to like find opportunity. Yeah. So now being your own engineer, what does that entail? Are you're creating the beat, so that means you're like, is engineer a producer?
Engineer comes down to the mixing and mastering side of the music.
So only the end?
It's part of the whole process actually, because you need it. What an engineer does, if they're sticking to engineering, they need to do the recording, and they need to do the final mix and master. And mixing mastering is an art in itself is because you're kind of shaping the song into what you want it to sound like. Um, to get technical about it, so you need like reverb. This goes deep into it. You need like reverb, delay, making sure the gain. Engineering is essentially making sure the song is radio ready. It's ready to be put out there and finalized as like the final product. Sorry,
Makes sense.
Yeah.
No, you're good. I was just letting you finish.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna get into like the interface that you use, like what software do you use? Because you learn everything through YouTube University. So what software do you currently use? Since you did start on Logic, which I use, by the way.
I started Logic. I still use Logic.
Oh, for real?
I know Ableton now. I know how to use Ableton. But
what about Pro Tools?
I've used Pro Tools before.
That was a pretty big sigh.
Pro Tools is goated, man. I sigh because everybody industry, for the most part, if you enter Pro Tools, is industry standard.
Logic is industry standard too.
Yeah.
But everything is also objective because there's people going viral off of BandLab, which I just learned because of Shay.
Oh yeah.
So
BandLab changed the games for sure.
Yeah, I mean everything really, because everything is mobile nowadays.
Yeah.
So, but
everything nowadays, people are trying to, it's trying to cut shortcuts.
Yes. So with the shortcuts, they're just copying and pasting, and I don't really like that era because it's a lot of cookie cutter production, and you don't really get the value of true, like the work ethic. You know, like a lot of people find these shortcuts, and then people who actually studied the theory of music will see, or will obviously see and hear and feel the substance that they're lacking.
Yeah.
You know, like the decibel levels, the peaking, the reverb, some of the delivery is off.
Yeah.
It's just different when you take the shortcuts.
Yeah, it is.
So you primarily use Logic.
I primarily use Logic. I run Apollo Twin interface, and I use an Audio-Technica mic.
It's obviously an XLR.
Yeah.
Yeah, people like to use the USB, and I'm like, bro, like,
yeah, you're not gonna get nothing good with a USB. What else do I run? I have some Samsung monitors. Then I just got a regular laptop, MacBook Pro. Yeah, I started off with the Focusrite, like every producer, engineer does, had the Focusrite, and I've actually had the Audio-Technica mic all my life.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who are some of the like artists you've worked with?
So, my main artist, Deep October. Dude, I worked with a lot.
What do you look for when working with an artist? Their sound?
Right now, yeah, their sound, and a lot of it is who they are. I don't like to
mix. You hear that? Yo, that's crazy.
I don't like to mix my energy with just anyone, dude. I'm not really a sellout. Like just because they have a high following and a high count, I don't really care about that. I more care of like I said, who they are. What are they trying to accomplish? The energy, dude. It
all comes back down to passion.
Yeah.
Those who are more passionate are the ones that attract more energy.
Yeah.
Positive energy anyway.
I want to say I like to remain in holy energy. I'm not perfect, obviously. Sometimes there's times I do sin, but for the most part, yeah, I just like to make sure that it's pure, organic. Obviously, yeah, their sound. There's artists I do like that I don't think I would necessarily sound good with, if that makes sense. Just because their sounds are so different. But yeah, that's the main thing I look for is their energy, who they are, and yeah, of course their sound. Is there any other key points?
What about any artists that you would like to work with, big or small?
You say like who I'm looking forward?
Who would you want to work with?
Ooh, that's
either
a good question.
Big or small artists.
That's a good question, dude. That's a good question.
It's actually super basic, but a lot of people overlook it.
Yeah.
I actually thought,
dude, I wouldn't even want to work with some of them. I just want to be in the room with some of them just to see how they're like Kanye. I would like to be in the room with just to see what goes on in his head.
That's actually a common denominator between all of my last
Yeah.
podcast. A lot of people say they want to work with Kanye. Why?
Kanye is a Gemini like me, man. So when I see him talking and when I see him moving, I kind of understand where he comes from. Um, uh, just some of the actions and like some of the way he responds to certain things, I could see myself in a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So being in the same room with him, I would like to see like his process and just how his workflow, workflow is the thing I think a lot of people don't talk about. Workflow is just workflow, just how the process of how it all comes together. Because everybody has a different workflow. Everyone moves at a different pace. Everyone does things a
Isn't
different
that
way.
fascinating?
Yeah.
Everybody can still bring together a properly composed song track, except people have different ways of doing
getting
it.
into that point. Yeah. That's the artistry behind it too.
And I also like that within art, there's not two things that will be the same.
Yeah.
It's always similar, but it can never be replicated.
Yeah.
And it can never be copied.
It will always have a taste of whoever made it. So if like I try to copy a Kanye song, there would be a piece of me in there that would be part of it.
And you can't really replicate it. Like you cannot replicate it like as to the T. That's like with art. If you draw something, you will never be able to draw it the same way, ever.
I would also like to work with eventually bands. Rock was heavily my music taste is heavily influenced by 2000 hip hop and also 2000s rock.
I was actually gonna ask you how you were influenced into.
Dude, rock. I want to say emo punk and like alternative metal. So like Breaking Benjamin, 3 Days Grace, Linkin Park, Sum 41, Blink 182.
Of course,
lot of those.
Tom DeLonge and Mark Hoppus. Those were like, I don't know how old you are, but I would imagine we're around the same age. So
yeah,
Blink 182, Sum 41. Those are all like, bro, they're timeless.
And that's funny because in my music, I always hear an essence of that punk rock in my music. I feel like I have a very punk rocky voice. But I can every time I'm recording or I hear my songs being played back, I hear an essence of that punk rockness. As far as hip hop, so I got a lot of music taste from my dad. My dad was one of those dudes who had like the big gigantic like book. I want to say like it was like a briefcase of just CDs.
Dude,
yeah, he was one of those dudes. Yeah,
man.
like
nobody understands that. Well,
yeah.
Well, this generation wouldn't really understand the CDs or burning them or like the nostalgia of being able to put a CD in. Like the cars don't even come with CD players anymore.
Yeah.
But
yeah, he would have the big. He would play a lot of like 50 Cent, Eminem, a lot of rock too. Yeah, a lot of rock too.
I really like 50 Cent.
Yeah, dude,
he's funny, bro.
He would be definitely someone I would want to work with, dude. He's funny and also. He was really running game back then, man.
Bro, he's gangster.
He was running game. He was a gangster. He was really like, he had the whole game on lock, dude. And not a lot of people can do that nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, he had people shook. Even Jay-Z said, yo, if 50 Cent about to drop, you better get all your music out and you better, just stay on the sidelines until his little heat is over.
50 Cent actually worked a lot with Pop Smoke.
Yeah.
And Pop Smoke was actually very attentive to the way 50 Cent carried himself because there was actually an interview. I don't know if you ever saw it, but there was an interview with Pop Smoke. I don't know if it was like an interview, but there was some sort of meetup with him and Pop Smoke. And Pop Smoke was like on his phone. And 50 Cent was like, bro, like, what are you doing on your phone? Like, that's mad disrespectful. And he's like, bro, I'm writing down everything you said. And then he's like, no way, really? And then he like showed him and it was literally word for word, bro.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Like to be that inspirational, to literally write down everything word for word, that's gotta be like, because 50 Cent was like, oh shit, like he was taken back by it.
Yeah.
Like,
50 Cent is definitely someone to look up with because not a lot of rappers last, man. Not a lot of, it's hard to make it as an artist. Just,
yeah, it's extremely difficult
because as far as when it comes to income wise, streams don't pay a lot. Most artists make money off their tours and merch. So to see someone
the branding,
the branding, yeah, literally, the branding. so to see someone like him, it really like literally came off the street and was able to build his empire. And he's just a businessman in general. He's
Yeah,
not even
'cause
just a
yeah,
rapper
he's
anymore.
definitely
He's
a
a businessman.
businessman. I mean, you got to be a businessman. A lot
Yeah,
of people don't
and
really see the business side of
yeah,
things.
and literally,
Everything's a business.
that was me too. Like coming up, like I really didn't understand the business side until like the past 2 years. I really understand the business side now.
Yeah, a lot of
Like
people
how it needs
get
to be.
mad. Or my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Yeah, a lot of people kind of get frustrated with me because I believe everything is transactional because it is. Everyone's always like, "Oh, like why do you do this with them?" I'm like, bro, because I'm making bread with them.
Yeah.
And if someone's not making bread with me or bringing anything to the table, it's like, I don't need to be around you.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of the way I live. Like everything is transactional.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
What about like your home life? How was like your growing up as a kid? Where did you grow up?
So I was born in Long Island, New York. I lived there for like 8 years, and I moved here when I was like 8. Yeah.
And you've been in Charlotte ever since?
Yeah, I've been here ever since in this home, ever since actually.
So this is where you grew up.
Yeah.
What about so your parents, are they still together?
No. So my dad actually lives. They've been separated. Well, they've been divorced like 7-8 years now.
So they divorced while you were still growing.
Yeah, they were divorced here actually, dude. It was like kind of messy, but
very
everything's
tumultuous.
Good. Yeah, it was really messy actually. It was like really, it was a bad, divorce. It was bad, a lot of stuff going on. But I mean, now it's good now. My dad lives in York, South Carolina.
Down the road.
Yeah, it's like 30 minutes from here. And I just live with my mom and sister.
Dang, what happened to your like? Cause so a lot of people are like cling on to like their parents with a dynamic nuclear relationship.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
'Cause a lot of people in this generation, nobody stays together. So like, how did you cope with like the fact that your parents weren't together anymore?
Dude,
because it was at like that age.
My mom was emotionally distraught, so I kind of shut down. I was old too. I was like 18, bro, when this happened.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, like you grew up together. Like
I really at the time I was shutting down. Like my emotions were just shut down. Like I was just numb to everything because my mom and his sister were the ones suffering, so I was kind of just here soaking it all in. I was obviously here for them and with them, but at that point, like I was kind of just like, damn, there's no man in you here, so I have to be the man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was kind of just like, they were so distraught. It kind of, I guess my traumatic response was really just to shut down. Like
right.
I just was numb to everything.
Do you think that played a major role in your vocals? In your thoughts when expressing yourself on the
yeah,
beat?
it definitely did, because I remember when I did shut down, everything went back to the music. Like I just locked in even harder. I just started like doing anything to escape, you know what I'm saying? And music was that for me.
Like your coping mechanism.
Yeah, literally.
Right. I mean, hey, that's actually a good coping mechanism.
It was a lot of dabs too, but I'm not too proud of that.
I mean, hey, that's weed though. A lot of people resort to like drugs and pills,
Yeah,
and they get addicted, and then they become losers. You know.
Yeah, I had a little bit of
loser.
a bad alcohol coping mechanism too after that happened, but that's done now.
No, it's different though, because it's like I believe addiction is terrible, but
Yeah.
I mean, I don't do drugs. I don't advocate for drug use. And
Yeah.
I think anybody who does drugs as a coping mechanism is like, bro, come on.
Yeah.
Because by the time it's over, then you're back to
People do drugs for two reasons: to feel nothing or to feel something. To feel nothing at all or to feel something. That's the only two reasons. That's the only two reasons.
And it's terrible. It's
Yeah.
terrible. What about because you told me at the beginning of this, you had mentioned that you blew your FAFSA money on your passion, which is I advocate for that. Like, spend all your money, go to zero. I don't care. Like, invest in your craft. That's the only way to make. You got to spend money to make money.
Yeah.
So saving money is bad. Don't do it. Invest it. So when you finally told your mom, how did that conversation go?
Dude, I didn't even tell her. My dumbass friend came and was like, I forgot what happened. I was cooking up one day with my boys in the back, and my dumbass friend was like, "Does your mom know you dropped out yet?" or something like that, and she overheard it. And then she talked to me. She talked to me after about it.
That's so cool.
Dude, she was going. This was around the time the divorce was happening, so like I said, she was.
Oh, dude,
yeah.
dang, that's so it's just like everything all at once.
Yeah, so it was just a bunch of stuff together. Yeah, but it wasn't too bad, just because, like I said, that divorce was happening, so it was. Yeah, I was kind of like one of those things where like just another fucking problem to add on. She didn't really get too crazy about it.
What does she think about it now that you're? kind
Um,
of?
she's seen me actually make money off of this. Like she's seen people buy beats, and she's seen uh just me like actually do sessions. So she's understanding of it. She's not against it.
Oh,
Yeah,
she's
she
not against
supports
it,
me.
so
Yeah,
she
she
supports it.
supports me. Yeah.
What about your pops?
My pops supports me too, because my pops is a businessman. He's a landscaper, so he understands. Um, I want to be an entrepreneur. Um,
Not wannabe, you are.
well, yeah, true. Um, but no, they're supportive.
No, that's great. Having
Yeah,
a support system really changes the
yeah.
dynamic of the goals you're
I
trying
would
to
I wouldn't
attain.
say they don't understand. Like they're not in my shoes, but they are supportive. Like
Well, yeah, no
yeah,
one will really understand the
yeah.
experience as a whole unless they really live it.
Uh huh.
Because, like you said they're also traditional blue collar.
Yeah.
You got to work, and being like coming from that environment to now seeing the inconsistency of income and stability.
Yeah.
Being an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
they're more so worried about will they make it,
Yeah.
and that's the constant thought that's in our minds, and that's kind of like the reason why we push so hard to make it. Because I don't have a plan B.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you have a plan B, but
Yeah.
I don't.
No, my plan B is to go live on an island off the grid. Anyway, no, I was playing.
Yeah, no, I don't have a plan B. So, what is it that you do? Do you do this full time?
Um, right now, so I actually had a job for. I still have a job, but right now I have so much leniency with that job. I am trying to really establish my foundation as an artist. I have all this music in the vault, and like I said, I just recently like learned every business side aspect of the music, like in the past year or 2 years.
Right.
So I do have like a game plan, an end plan to make this sustainable. Um, because before I was just putting out music, I didn't know anything about BMI, ASCAP, royalties. I didn't know any of that. Like
Yeah, there's a lot that
I
goes
didn't know
into
all
it.
the money like that was under the table that I haven't signed up for to be grabbing. I didn't know about sync licensing. I didn't know there's so many avenues that you could go with this. Um, so right now, like I said, I'm planning and just getting ready to take the initial steps because I don't want to just aimlessly put music out there anymore. I want to have a structure and an intent behind
Yeah,
it.
you have to have the
You have to have it.
infrastructure.
Yeah, and that's because I feel like I do have like good enough music to actually structure that and eventually build a foundation.
So how many songs do you have currently
Dude,
in your catalog?
I don't know, too
Just
many.
the 9,
Oh,
and
just a
then
9, and then on my vault, dude, like probably like 10 or 20.
oh, okay, so you don't have a multitude.
Yeah, I don't have like 50 hundreds, but I do have enough to like have 2 albums.
Oh, okay, do you have any like? I don't want to say do because that's a close-ended question. What projects are you working on? Are they big, small? Do you have any albums coming?
Right now, I just want to do singles, but I do eventually I have a future plan for an album. It's called Break the Cycle. Um, and
What is that about?
and that's gonna be eventually about literally my because I feel like a lot of us are born into generational cycles.
I had a feeling it had to do with like the
Yeah,
generation cycle.
it's we all have generational cycles. Some big, some small. Some people call them curses.
Some are
I think
detrimental.
it's literally it's the manifestation of your parents and your generation's actions, and you have to overcome that, and you have to
Break the curse.
be self aware too, and you have to have enough self awareness to see the cycles you're repeating and to break that curse.
A lot of people don't. A lot of people lack self-awareness.
I actually have a song called "Break the Cycle," and it's gonna be on it. But that's a future thing because I feel like I will not break the cycle until I break the cycle.
No, that makes sense. I actually like the name because once you said it, I immediately knew
Yeah.
that it had to do with either like generational wealth, generational curse. Because like everybody is born into some type of cycle that they can either use to their advantage or that it's very disadvantageous from the start.
Yeah.
And a lot of growing up in the western part of the hemisphere, it's not as it's high in poverty. Like America's average income is like, bro, it's like 30K.
Yeah.
And that's not a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, oh, that's a lot of, bro. No, it's not.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that, breaking the cycle. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to do too. Is like, I'm like kind of the first one in the family that
Decided to do something different.
started to be like rebellious.
Yeah.
And do my own thing and just let life kind of guide me and like learn everything on my own. It's difficult at times, but
Yeah.
it's fun. I love it. I wouldn't change it. I love it.
Yeah. Baby.
Baby.
Baby. I don't want to get too deep into the Break the Cycle project.
No,
yeah.
you're good. I just didn't know if you had anything else to say to like add on to that, because I'm already ready for the next.
Yeah.
I'm already ready for the next question, bro.
No, go ahead.
So what is your name? DarkSkyParadox. What does that?
So the
come
paradox is like something contradicting, right? It's something
Right.
And I feel like dark sky, you think I'm gonna make some dark music, which I guess you could call it dark. I really want to call it. I want to call it melancholy, with a piece to it.
Melancholic.
Cause a lot of my songs, there was some suffering in it, but the point of the song was to escape that suffering.
So most
If
of
that makes sense.
well, not most, all of your songs and all of your compilations, you would say tell a story.
My beginning, I want to say 80%, 80 to 90%, because I remember this one time. There's this one time where someone was like, "Dude, your music is boring," and I was like, "All right, bet." So I made like a more like, it hasn't been released yet, but it's a more up tempo like party song.
You kind of have to take critiques constructively.
Yeah.
Like if someone doesn't like your stuff, I would soak it in a little bit. You don't really have to be like, okay, cool. Like, so what? Because some people, there's gonna be like a wide spectrum of people that really like your stuff.
Yeah.
That don't like your stuff, and then there's gonna be stuff that are like in between. You have to kind of take certain critical, like I guess comments.
Yeah.
Like, with a grain of salt, because you don't know if they could just be hating, if they're coming with malice, or
I think
if they're being genuine.
with him, with this particular experience, I felt like I actually believed that. And I had to prove to myself, oh, I could make more than just what I'm making right now. Because this was at a very, like, I only had 3 songs at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And as an artist, I took what he was saying, and I kind of internalized it to be true. Because I was, like, looking at what I have and what I made. And it was more of me, like...
Is this
like,
individual someone you keep close?
It's my cousin.
Well, I mean... Yeah. What I meant by like keep close, is this someone that you love?
I would say that. Yeah.
Yeah, because usually when you love someone, you're kind of truthful. I mean, you should be truthful. Love ain't lies.
Yeah.
So if I didn't like your song, I would tell you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm telling you which songs I liked. But that's just, it's not. A lot of people mistake it for being brash.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's more so of like, yo, this is what I like. This is what I didn't like. And you could either be like, yo, fuck you, or I'm going to fix it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can't really dwell on that.
Yeah. For the most part, I'm good with criticism. Because I'm aware that not everybody has the same taste of music. Everybody's going to like what they like, and you can't really change that.
Yeah, that's why with music and art, you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt, but also like listen to the context of what they're trying to say. Because maybe there was something within that track or beat or production. Maybe there was something in there that they were trying to convey, but they didn't really know how to articulate it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cool.
But back to your question. That's the reason for it, because a lot of my music, I feel like, is coming out of the darkness. So I wanted DarkSkyParadox.
And then the sky is bright. When you think of dark, you think of night, and then when you think of sky, it's bright. So that's it. Actually, the name in itself is a paradox.
Yeah.
Because you never see a dark sky. Whenever you think of a sky, it's like it's always bright.
Yeah.
You know. So I like that.
And
it's cool.
A lot of people call me Docs, and I like to think of Docs as doctor, and in a sense, I'm spiritually healing with spiritual music. But yeah, that's the names. Yeah, that's where the names come.
What about your goals for the rest of 2024?
Dude, like I said, I got singles that I'm planning on rolling out right now. I want to do some travel so I could get content for those vids. Um, I'm really a nature person. So, and I'm a very, I want to say, emotional person. Like I like things. I like when I make art that you could feel it. I don't like to
That's
just,
the only way to be.
yeah, I don't like to really, cause with these singles, they're gonna be things I worked. They're gonna be music I like, and music I like is typically the music I put the most effort in.
Right.
Cause in order for me to like it, I've had to work to get it to that point.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to put in the work. You have to
Uh-huh.
do your due diligence.
Yeah.
Because if not, then you're gonna harbor a lot of resentment for what you didn't do. And no,
Uh-huh.
I don't want to live with regret.
Yeah.
People shouldn't live with regret, and 99% of the population does live with regret.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you keep
Mhm.
doing what you're doing, I feel like it'll get to where you want it to be.
Mhm.
Where do you see, like, not where? What would you envision yourself when you've finally got to where you want to be?
Dude, there was one dream I had.
Dreams are
'Cause-
so real.
Cause I feel like music is what God called me to do. At the end of the day, I've known this from a while, since I started. But I've always had this dream where I'm like performing, and there's like angels like hovering above the crowd and kind of spreading that energy towards them and like healing whatever bondage they're in. And
So
by bondage I mean those cycles, those generational curses that they're caught in.
So the message you're trying to convey to your listeners is positivity, love, and there's a way out.
I want to call it like realness. But yeah, essentially, yeah.
Cause that's what I'm getting from what you're telling me. That's kind of what I'm putting together in my head.
I kind of want to, at the end of it, I want it to be a testimony. So, a testimony meaning I've gone through this, so you can't do.
This is where I've been. Now this is where I'm at.
Yeah. This is what
That's
what I've overcome.
That's a story.
Yeah.
Telling a story is the best.
Yeah. Essentially, yeah. But that's the whole reason for the album Come Break the Cycle too, is because right now I feel like I'm in the middle of it.
Do you have like a date for that?
No, it's gonna come together when it comes together. Right now, there's some songs I have released that I know are gonna be a part of it. I'm not gonna say which songs right now.
Right, you can't leak it.
And I also have some singles that are going to be dropped that will be a part of it. I know, but essentially, like I said, me as an artist, I feel like my artistry will develop as I develop as a person. So when I get to that point where I feel like
mature too.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm not going to know until I know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't put a future date on it because right now I'm still growing. Obviously, you're never going to stop growing, but I feel like I'm going to grow enough to the point where I know, hey, this needs to be
Yeah,
put out. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
You'll mature.
Yeah, I'll mature enough to the point where I realize, okay, this is
it. This is where
like
I
said, because every song has a story. You're going to progress with it and see where I end up at.
There's only growth there. You only move up. There's never moving back. You can't mow a lawn facing the opposite direction. And also sharks only move forward. They don't have reverse. So like that kind of is,
they can 360 and end up in a pattern,
but they'll never go backward. They can never go backward. They never stop moving either. Like even when they sleep, they're still moving, which is very fascinating. And I always kind of correlate that to life. I always think of sharks because it's like they don't stop moving.
I want to swim with
sharks. They don't sleep
either.
either. I've swum with sharks before.
Really?
Yeah, nurse sharks in Belize.
Okay, cool.
Nothing crazy. They don't have teeth, bro.
Yeah. No, I know. But it's still fascinating.
Where can we find your music?
Spotify, Diesel, Apple Music, Amazon Music, all platforms.
All platforms.
How
do we find you?
DarkSkyParadox. You can search Spotify. You can search Instagram. You can search. I just made a Twitter. Shout out Twitter.
X.
X. Just made an X. Shout out Elon Musk.
Big shouts out Elon Musk.
Shout out Elon Musk. Dude, any platform. Any major platform. My distribution has like 50 other platforms that I can't name off the top right now, but you should be able to find me on whatever app you use.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and conclude today's
Yes,
Bean
sir.
Dip episode.
Shout out Bean.
I appreciate you, bro. I just want to say thank you for allowing me into your home and allowing me to have this conversation with you. It was very, actually, was not expecting you to give me this much information.
Yeah.
But it had a lot of substance in it, and I really appreciate your time and the obviously, bro, the experience you've given me, because this was actually like a super great pod.
Likewise, man. I appreciate you coming, and I appreciate you just having me here. Appreciate the questions too. You had some pretty nice questions.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
I stayed up to like 5 a.m. writing them down,
Yeah,
bro.
man.
I honestly didn't even get to the questions that I really wanted to ask.
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to say that for a part 2.
Yeah.
It's because, you know, you were able to articulate.
Part 2 after I drop some singles.
Yeah. We're going to have to like let you progress into the realm of what you are trying to be and trying to become. You know, we're going to have to like come back into it, because it's time to grow.
Yeah.
Always time to grow. It's time to get anabolic.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. And if anybody wants to be a part of the Bean Dip, where Bean dips into the minds of those aspiring to be great, it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, I will come to you. If you would like to see someone else on here, I can get a hold of anybody. Anything is attainable. You always have to just believe it, and you will be it. Anything else?
Shout out Bean, man.
Yeah.
Follow Bean, please.
DarkSkyParadox, available on all platforms.